Welcome back to the DELCO XC Podcast, where grit meets glory. This week, it's all about PIAA State Championships, the grand stage where all the miles, sweat, and sacrifice finally come together. My name is Kevin Key. With you, as always, I am your host of the DELCO XC Podcast, and I have to apologize because this is getting out way later than I expected it to get out. Screen on my computer is a little waterlogged. Good news though, it is not completely gone, not completely broken. I can actually hear things now, unlike Sunday when I couldn't hear things. Kind of like had to do the flippity do to make sure everything was okay. That's actually the real reason why this podcast is late, on top of, life, because in reality life happens, and there's nothing I can do about life getting in the way sometimes. So this is a little bit later of a podcast for all of you. I know that you've been looking forward to this since PIAA Championships on Saturday, so I apologize as this is really getting out a week after PIAA State Championships. But hey, it happens, and you can enjoy this over a weekend listen. It is one of the last episodes of the season for this DELCO XC Podcast, so I really hope you enjoyed this year. As I said, here we go. We're going to be talking about the PIAA State Championships, where those miles, that sweat, that sacrifice come together. DELCO runners in particular, I'm going to tell you they're built differently. You got tough courses, you got cold mornings, and it's never an easy step. That's what forges that DELCO edge. From the starting gun to the final kick, these kids embodied resilience, pride, and that underdog mentality. Hey, we're from DELCO. That makes the corner of Pennsylvania so special. We're going to break down who showed up, who surprised the state, and how DELCO once again proved that toughness isn't just a mindset, it's a way of running. In the AAA girls race, that's the one I want to talk about first. The conversation was all about Marple Newtown Sloane Smith and how she closed out her debut season in cross country. Soccer turned cross country, well, kind of part-time, really, at least. Sloane had a sophomore season that only a few can dream of. She put in the work, she put in the effort, and had the highest finish of a DELCO runner since 2017, which was Liz Mancini, who won in 2017. Sloane may in the future take that glory that Liz once had at Cardinal O'Hara, kind of keeping that Marple Newtown fire alive, as Liz Mancini is a resident of that Marple Newtown school district, but went to Cardinal O'Hara, went to St. Pius. So it might be something in the water in Marple Newtown. Looking good for me on my end, because that's where I currently live, but keeping that fire alive. Sloane ran a blazing 18:33. She even beat the District 1 champion, Julia Kelly, in the process of her finish. She's one of the fastest athletes to ever run on this state course. I think it's the second fastest on this current course, only behind Liz Mancini. It might be the third fastest of all time. I might be wrong on that, and I'm sure Bill Corn will let me know if I'm wrong on that. She went 18:33. Liz Mancini, she went 18:18 in 2017. She ran that same course as Sloane. Hannah Grossman of Strathaven, she went 18:30 in 2011. She ran that Poop Out Hill course. You had Olivia Cieslak last year. She went 18:42, finishing 5th. You had Olivia Arizin in 2015. She went 11th at 18:43. So a lot of great history that Sloane is now a part of as one of the top cross-country athletes in Delaware County history. We're living in a time in which we get to see Sloane Smith, Kendra Williamson, Olivia Cieslak, Olivia Arizin, Hannah Grossman. Like, these are all names that I have at least gotten to see race in the past 15 years in general. I'm going to hear from Sloane on her take of this race. I am standing with Sloane Smith, 4th place overall PIAA State Championships, 18:33 for Sloane. She is from Marple Newtown High School. Sloane, talk to me about your race.
I mean, I was really nervous going into it, probably the most nervous I've ever been, but it wasn't really for place or time. It was just the course looked so intimidating, but I'm really surprised and satisfied with how I finished.
Can you talk to me about a little bit of the strategy? Did you have any strategy going into it? Did Coach Butler give you any tips or advice on how to race this?
He kind of just told me to run my race and not use anyone else as a guideline. There was one girl that was in my box that he said I could keep my eye on, but she's amazing. amazing. Like, I couldn't really keep up with her, but then I just decided I'll just run my race, not let anyone in front or behind me dictate how I run.
It was actually perfect the way I saw it play out. Second overall, you kept her in sights, but you didn't let that get to you or intimidate you. You're so young, especially to this sport. How were you able to play that off in your head throughout this race? Because it's like running is more of a mind thing than it is even a running thing in general. So how were you able to play that out?
I kind of just distracted myself throughout the race with like just different thoughts and like I was thinking about anything but the race, to be honest, because I knew that if I saw the person I was told to keep up with, I would feel tempted to try and like run up there with her, and I don't think I would have been able to keep up. So I just kept my mind like racing with different thoughts, anything besides the race.
So soccer, I know, is a big part of your life in general. How did soccer really prepare you for a cross-country season coming into this, and what actually made you decide to run cross-country this fall?
My coach, Coach Butler, I had done track with him. It was my freshman year, and it was in the mile. I had never gone sub 6 minutes, and first we did the season, I went 5:56, I think, and I think that throughout the season he just kind of wanted to snag me from soccer completely, but I compromised with him, and I did both, and I was really happy with that decision because now I couldn't see myself only doing soccer or only doing cross country for one season. I think it just has to be both.
And you're definitely a role model for people who do this. And as a coach, I was just talking to you a little bit ago. As a coach, you are a role model for a coach in general who wants his freshmen to take a next step up in their training. How did your summer miles come into and affect your cross country training program?
Yeah, so during like the spring, I tried to start implementing more long runs, and I couldn't do it. Like, I was really struggling to do over 8 miles, even if it was at a pace I knew wasn't challenging for me. But my coach's summer training plan, I had started running 10 miles for the first time, and then it was at like a 7:30 pace, and then a 7:15 pace, and then a 6:49 pace as like my fastest 10 mile ever. And I really surprised myself because in April and March and May, like I couldn't even imagine running over 7 miles, let alone 10 miles, so I was ecstatic.
Well, and it's great because you didn't only surprise yourself, you surprised a lot of people in the county. You surprised a lot of people now in the state of Pennsylvania, so congratulations. Like I said, you're a role model. You're ready to take that next step in your training, and I love your thought process throughout this race of like, hey, I'm going to focus on anything but that race.
Yeah.
Like, that's a veteran move, and your first year in cross country, you understanding that's huge. So I want to congratulate you. Big things are still to come, and hopefully it's more cross country than soccer, jokingly for this podcast purpose. But hopefully you see like you have a bright future ahead of you. Congratulations again. Probably one of the toughest performances in DELCO history at state championships, other than Haverford's performance a year ago. I think that your performance is up there in history of Delaware County cross country. So congratulations. I know more big things are coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for your time, Sloane.
Got a winner over there. Congratulations to the winner.
Things about Sloane is that one of the things she impressed me with the most was that she was able to take a veteran move by someone who's so young in the sport, by really like not thinking about the race. She impressed me in how she takes on a race and literally thinks about anything else while that's happening. You're going to hear later on from Teddy Foster, who kind of has a different mentality to it, but really in the same aspect of what happens within a cross country race and within a 5K race. These kids, they have a different mindset, like I told you. Avery Lustgarden, she was our next finisher. She's from Garnet Valley. She was the next DELCO athlete that came in. She came in with 50th overall, ending her senior season with a stellar performance. Avery was able to finish her cross-country story with a nice top 50 finish in the state championships in only her second appearance, her first since her freshman year in 2022. Avery showed me a story of persistence throughout this year. She was able to overcome different injuries over the past couple of years to get where she is now, showing that persistence really matters and really enabling to cement her own name as one of the top athletes in Delaware County, especially out of this year. Caitlin Anderson of Radnor, she was the next one in. She went 20-30. She finished 73rd overall. A nice gritty race out of her and her teammate Coco Connor, who was the next one in. She went 97th, going 20-45. She was followed by Ryan Dagnus of Haverford, who ended her cross-country career with a strong performance of 20-47 on the tough Hershey course. She also left the course with a big head. No, not her ego, kind of like what people say about me, but a blow-up of her face actually made by her teammate Evelyn Awad, which was actually really funny to see in person. Cardinal O'Hara's Luciana Aguilera and Monica Grosso both had strong races out of those District 12 teams, and they finished up strong. In the boys' AAA race, this was a tough one. Haverford was the lone DELCO team in the race, and they fought hard to the finish line. The key to Haverford was always their top three in Teddy Foster, Ryan Cleary, and Sean Lawson. And from about 1K into this one, you could tell something was off with Lawson. His smile wasn't there as much. I told you in the last podcast in District 1 Championships, Sean was smiling throughout that race. It wasn't there. So something happened within this race to show that Sean was kind of going into a different change. But this kid is tough. What ended up happening was that somehow, some way, Sean was able to persevere through an anaphylactic shock. As I said, stated in last week's podcast, kind of like a team sport in cross country, Sean being able to persevere and push through that anaphylactic shock, whatever he was going through. I got to see him after the race and see his body like break out in different hives and shivering, and this kid was able to persevere and finish. And this all happened about 1,000 meters into this race. Kid is gritty, kid is tough, but now it came down to that team aspect for the Fords. So that's where you pick up where your teammate isn't having their best day, while also pushing them and pulling them to the line. Sean got to see this firsthand and got the support from his teammates right at that 1,000 meter marker, all the way into the Haverford tent at the end of the meet, where his teammates were constantly checking on him to make sure he was okay. This is where that team part becomes bigger than that individual part. The team continued to lift each other up through a 10th place overall finish. Haverford, naturally, though, they were led by their senior leader, the DELCO champion, Teddy Foster, sporting a new buzzed haircut, kind of looking like me, I guess, along with the rest of his team, which, by the way, kind of was hard to recognize who was who from Haverford with all their shaved heads. Teddy had this longer hair, and you definitely knew it was Teddy. But Teddy was able to end his cross-country career with an 11th place medal at state championship, a moment he will never forget. So let's hear what Teddy Foster had to say about his race. Hi, this is Kevin Key. I'm with Teddy Foster, 11th overall state medalist at PIAA State Championships. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
The hair looks good.
Yeah, no. The whole team buzzed off, and so we're all feeling good, wanting to do something. You know, we had a rough last year, some illness and stuff got us out, so came back, wanted to celebrate, and everybody got their hairs off, so I felt great.
So was this done at districts or after districts? I heard about it.
Day of districts, went back to my buddy Ryan's, we went back to Ryan's house. He cut his clippers out and cut hair a little bit, buzzed all off, and so yeah, that was it.
Awesome. So you ran this course earlier this year at Foundation. You ran 16:18 today,
yeah.
8 seconds faster today than you did at Foundation. What was the mentality going into this race? What was your race tactic? How did you feel going into it?
I think this time around, last race of the senior year, like, you know, we're where we want to be, so I wanted to try to have some fun. I smiled in the race, you know, just trying to take it all in and enjoy it, not stressing about the outcomes, because, you know, I feel like when you are willing to have fun, enjoy it, the outcomes can come with it. So that was kind of the mentality coming in.
So, like, taking in the moments was very specific.
Absolutely.
For you.
I can remember that race. I think sometimes you get really stressed out. The race, it's what it feels like just like a dream state. Like you're just like kind of halfway in it. I can remember that whole race, start to finish. Like I was really in it, and so that felt different. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot more.
Good. So let's dive into a little bit. What are like when you're in your dream state? What are you thinking of? Rather like
that's so funny. It is like a complete blank. It's like I think it was because especially earlier in my career, I got really nervous, and whenever my body got like almost like fight or flight, like very like it took all the resources away from thinking, and it was just total, just like in my body. Now I'm a lot more relaxed. I just like my brain's thinking again. It's like waking up again. It's just when you're not doing that, your brain just shuts off, and you're not in the race at all. So I think that's an advantage of being out there and being relaxed.
Right, final stretch, knowing that you're going to get a state medal. How's that feel going into it in that final stretch?
It felt great. It's funny. The thing before the race, I told myself, I'm not gonna. It's gonna be a lot harder to enjoy the holiday season. I'm stuck thinking about, could I pushed harder? Could I have gone for it? So I knew kind of this race, like final stretch, just like make sure in your heart that you put it all out there. So went in there, and that was all I'm thinking about. Just close hard, close everything you got. I wasn't totally sure at the place, but I have a pretty good feeling I was in the state medal range, so that all felt good. Yeah.
Now, senior year, things came together this year. A few years ago, I said this Haverford team's going to be the team to watch out for by your senior year. Came to fruition. A lot of that's through your leadership. How do you feel leading this team of Fords now and then into the future? Because you graduate, but your legacy gets left behind here. So
honestly, it's been one of the proudest things I've done in my life so far. You know what I mean? Getting to do this with a team of guys that I love, put it together, and then go and accomplish something. And of course, we still have more in the spring into track and whatever, but being able to accomplish something. So that felt great. And I had a great group of leaders before me. It was Patrick Lawson and Quentin Ryan, some of these guys who came before me that I took a lot from, leadership-wise and everything else. So it feels great to be able to be something like that hopefully for the guys that are going to keep running this program after me.
Thank you for your time. I know you got to cool down. I know you got to go get your medal. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. If you have anything remainder of the season-wise.
That's it. Nope. Go home. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy Christmas. Come back for the track. Absolutely right.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like I said, it was really cool to see how Teddy was able to mention his state of euphoria during this race, where he's able to remove all that other noise, all that, as Jalen Hurts calls it, all that rat poison, all the other tactics, and just turn things on right away. Even in comparison to like Sloane Smith, where she mentioned she will think about anything else except for the race. It's cool to see how these athletes' minds think while they're racing and pushing a 5K. Teddy Foster, he was followed by his teammate Ryan Cleary, who had a race of his own going into the final 300, 400 meters. You could see Cleary turning up to another gear, another level, as he was able to pass a few athletes in that final stretch, pushing him to 34th overall, 9 places away from the medal at 16:48. Junior gets another shot at this potentially next year, knowing now that he's not too far off of that state medal and where he can be. Junior Kevin O'Neill, he was the one that picked up Sean Lawson along the way. He was the one who was kind of pushing him along the way, because you can't really touch your athletes, but you can say things to them. There's encouraging words to them to get them to that finish line. Kevin had that impressive performance of 17:30 to finish as the Ford's third man in this one. Previously mentioned Sean Lawson was that fourth man for them, giving everything he had just to get them to the finish line. Another one that gave their all after battling illness throughout this year was Jonathan Awad. Awad kept pushing his way in and gave everything he had for his team. He went 17:58. Robert McGuire was next at 18:05 and fighting another gear to that finish line. And finally, the seventh man for the Fords was Liam Brewster, who pushed all the way through all the challenges this course had to offer. Individually, on the boys' end, there were even strong races throughout all of DELCO, with a bunch of runners getting through their own challenges. Pencrest, they had Rowan Carr and Charles Mahalan pushing the top 52 in the state, with Carr going 47th and Mulholland going 52nd. Injuries plagued Carr throughout the year, but the fact that he was able to persevere through the year alone will teach him about life ahead. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we have our days in which we struggle the most. Some days we don't have our best, but finishing and powering through matters most. And those are the days in which we hey, we didn't have our best, but we got through, and we're gonna get better the next day. Constantly, this sport teaches you so much about life in general. Charles Mulholland, he had a heck of a start to his cross country season. Soccer turned cross country. Charles was able to hold off high in the state rankings. And finish high in the state rankings, and that's something he should be proud of. Two other guys that I really like to watch throughout this year: Sean Holst-Rightly, Andrew H. They were the next two in for Pencrest, almost back to back, pretty much for the Lions. Holst-Rightly was 1 second off his Central League Championship time on a harder course in Hershey compared to Rose Tree, and he put on a fight all the way. Hayes, again, he continues to fight. He went 17-24, showing the pride he has on and off the course. Radnor's Connor Walsh, he went 17-12 in this one. He finished 81st in a strong fight to the finish. Much like Cleary, Walsh could be seen turning up to that next level in that final 300 to 400 meters of the race, making this state championships memorable. Marple Newtown had Julian Bothma, who was the next DELCO athlete in. He went 17-42. Bothma was well prepared and excited for this one, as I was able to talk to him just before the race. His focus was there, and he was ready to get out there and push it. Ridley's Oma Matheos, he closed out DELCO in the AAA race. He went 18:04. Oma fought hard on the hills of Hershey to give what he had for those Green Raiders. In the 2A race, and I'm going to specifically talk about 2A girls right now first, and then the boys. But on the 2A side, it was Tess Nisley from Carroll, who's the one that we kept our eyes on. She had a very strong performance of 21:05. She finished 56th over on the state, and she continues to build up. And should actually be someone to watch out for the upcoming track seasons, both in the Catholic League and in Delaware County. One thing I found different now that I didn't realize is that the Catholic League has their own league championships in indoor. Central League does not, so it's actually going to be fun to watch Tess Nisley compete at Catholic League championships and see what she does, moving on to the next level. And then we get into DELCO championships in the outdoor season and potentially seeing her name pop up once again. On the boys' end, another name that we're going to be looking out for at the Catholic League level and the Delaware County level is Mohammed Naeed from Bonner. He put up a great performance. He finished 35th overall at his 17:25. I think that's the fastest finish for a Bonner athlete since Brian McGarity. I could be wrong. Donnie Cave could have actually done it last year as well. But he was the first Friar in, and he was looking to be that first Friar since Tony Harper to medal at state championships. He was only 10 places off of that. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this junior's name pop up again throughout this track season and again next year, as he's now a potential medal contention for state championships a year from now. Carroll's Himian Jones, who's the next DELCO athlete in, he went 92nd, going 18:08. And the final DELCO name I saw in the AA boys race was Daniel Stevens. He was the final finisher for Delaware County from Bonner. In the single A race, I only saw one athlete in this one. I know there was another boy that qualified for DELCO Christian. However, it was the only person I saw finish this one was Addie Atkins in the single A girls race. She is from DELCO Christian, and she put up a strong performance, going 42nd overall at 21:31. The sophomore was able to continue her stellar season and finish 50 places better than a year ago. And that's what makes the PIAA Championships special. Being able to top your performances from prior years, or step on the course for the first time in 4 years, or even go back to back and see what you have and look to finish a story. It's what makes PIAAs so special. It's not just about the medals, it's not just about the places or the times on the result sheet. It's about who or what you become out there on the hills, in the wind, in the doubt, and in the final 200 when the whole world feels heavy. DELCO runners don't don't get built in perfect conditions. They don't get raised on these easy courses. They don't get handed confidence. They earn it mile by mile, season by season, team by team. We saw that in our breakout stars like Sloane Smith. We saw that in veterans closing out their careers, in Teddy Foster, in Ryan Dankinus, in Avery Lustgarten. We saw that in teammates lifting each other up when the day got hard. Look at the Haverford team in general. We saw that in the grit, always the grit. So to every athlete who lined up at Hershey, whether you walked away with a medal or with lessons for next time, you represented this county with heart, and heart is what DELCO does best. Thank you to the coaches, the families, the bus drivers, the friends holding up the homemade posters, the teammates holding each other up at the tent. Every one of you is part of the story. So we'll be back soon on this podcast. Indoor track is going to be firing up. Next chapter is about to begin because that's the thing about DELCO Cross Country. The season might end, but the grind never does. Until my next podcast, which will be the final podcast of the season, stay tough, stay hungry, and remember, DELCO isn't just what we run. DELCO is how we run. This has been the DELCO Cross Country Podcast. We'll see you online. With you as always, this is Kevin Key. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at DELCO XC Pod. You can email me, delcoxc@gmail.com. Let me know how we're doing. Enjoy the mess of my household, my basement, on the YouTube channel. That's DELCO XC Pod. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Leave me a review. 5 stars would be perfect if you could do that. It's all for the algorithm. Like I've told you before, I don't get paid for this. This is all for fun. This is all for the love of the sport. So please make sure you try to add to that algorithm. Even share this with family members. Maybe at one point I'll be able to get advertisements for this. But once again, thank you again for a stellar season. My final podcast will literally all be about thanking you, the listener. Thank you again for a very successful cross-country season in Delaware County. This is Kevin Key, and I am signing off.